You know, they say that home is where the heart is, but it's also a place for creativity and design and decor and renovation and entertaining, and a cozy spot for showcasing our personalities to those we invite inside. I'm Kasie Savage, and this is The Nest, your destination for all things home, decor, lifestyle. So grab yourself a tea, a coffee, maybe even a glass of champagne and get comfy, because today we've got the experts, the tips, and all the advice you need to create your best nest. Okay, first up in Home Style 101, we are going to be talking about, we're going to go outside again to the outside of your home and talk about the different types of surrounds, walkways, pathways, pool surrounds even, and different options that are available to you, because if you're like myself, you know it can be pretty overwhelming, especially when you go to those stone yards and you're like, all I see is stone. What's the difference? Here to answer all of those questions that are burning on my mind, and hopefully yours as well, is Carrie McPhee of McPhee Maintenance, Construction, McPhee Tree Farm, McPhee Everything. Speaking of everywhere, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you again for having me.
And for being our expert when it comes to all things outside. So a lot of people are looking to renovate, change up, add some pizzazz to their exteriors. And I feel like there are just so many options, and we need a little guidance, Carrie. What's going on? What's the difference between X, Y, and Z? So tell us what some of the options are.
Some of the options are natural stone versus a precast stone. And as one of the samples that we've brought, cobblestone look is very popular as well.
Love this.
It's a lovely way to accent your home if you have a more traditional looking home, or even rustic. I myself have a very rustic home, and we have this cobblestone everywhere, all over our house. We have a walkway at the front of the home. We have a big patio at the back of our house with this cobblestone, and it's beautiful. It actually grows moss in between it, and it has that English country sort of look, but or cabin in the woods.
Cabin in the woods. Okay, well this one is really heavy, so I can't lift it. I'm just gonna.
It's a very heavy. That is also a precast stone. It's stone look. It's
so
ground up
manufactured.
stone. Yes, manufactured, but it's a lot more economical if you're doing large areas, like for instance around a pool. If you want to, completely cover your patio around your pool, you would use something precast as opposed to a natural stone. It gives you the stone look. It gives you the look that that most people want around their pool, but again,
more affordable.
A little more affordable, very efficient.
Is this natural?
That is natural stone.
Okay, so this is natural stone.
That's a beautiful option, but probably best to save for feature areas. Maybe if you are doing a pool surround and you've used a product like this, maybe you want to do a nice little fireplace area, off to the corner of your patio around your pool. And something like that would be beautiful, beautiful accent towards the precast stone, and that a little more reasonable as opposed to doing your whole entire patio in something like that.
Because of price.
Because of price. Now, if you have an unlimited budget, on the other hand,
go crazy with
sky's
stone.
The limit.
Go crazy with stone. So when we talk about cobblestone, I mean, could you actually do a driveway in all three of these?
Sure you could. Mixed media is fantastic. It's different looks, it's different textures. You could have that be, a border. Say use this as your main product and have that be a border. Have a flagstone walkway coming off of your garage, or maybe just, sorry, not off your garage, off your, in front of your house, and then perhaps do something like that in front of your garage and just border it in, and sky's the limit. I mean,
okay, now here's where you set all of us straight. So we're looking at a pool here, and is this where we're mixing materials as well?
Lots of mixed materials here. So there's actual natural stone coping around that pool, and which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're going to get that stone look. That's the look that people are after these days.
That's that gorgeous, pricey edging around the pool is the coping. And then the more affordable manufactured stone
goes after.
goes all the way around.
Goes a little bit after, yeah.
Wow.
But it still gives you the look that you know, you're trying to achieve with stone.
This is so pretty.
So this is actually granite.
Granite.
These are granite stairs. Now, this is a client who did have an unlimited budget and loved the look of granite. It's beautiful, natural stone. But, you know, you can do something like that with precast stone as well. But granite is absolutely gorgeous.
So precast stone, much more affordable, but also they've come up with the look of.
Mimicking, yes, the look of. You're not going to get quite the same finished product, but.
And what's this project?
This is precast stone. This is an outdoor theater that we did.
An outdoor theater?
An outdoor theater. So they were just, you know, that's the bench area, the seating area, and then the larger slabs, just mimicking the large stone slabs, like Muskoka stone. Yeah, it was really beautiful. It turned out very nicely.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. And then this is just so pretty. A lot of people actually ended up with interlocking if their house is, you know, 15, 20 minutes, 20 years, 20 minutes. Hey, if you're changing your stone after 20 minutes, that's not good. And they're moving to this mixed, you know, stone look, which is so fantastic. So very quickly, here's where you tell me that you should match the stone to the style of your home, correct?
You should.
So if you have a very contemporary modern home, which of these would you be looking at?
You would probably want to go for something like this. Keep, you know, the square, the clean lines. Use lots of different, you know, rectangles, squares. There's so many different.
Okay,
this is just one.
Save your tips for the end of the show.
Okay.
We're going to hear from you again. Don't go too far. We've got more goodies coming up right after this break. All right, well, we are always looking to add a little more space to our homes wherever we can. And we used to have a word for that. We used to call it the addition or the sunroom. But now things are just so much more sophisticated and we're calling it transitional spaces. David Butler of Alair Homes Aurora-Newmarket is here to expand upon that. Not only does it sound more sophisticated, but transitional spaces, as we're now calling them, actually are a lot more sophisticated than I think of, you know, your typical grandparent sunroom.
Yeah, at the cottage, exactly.
Yeah. So what exactly is the definition of a transitional space?
Yeah, I think you described it well. It's really a 3-season or a 4-season sunroom. It's an addition to the house, but there's so much more you can do now. There's a lot of interesting products that allow you to have proper heating and cooling in there, whether you're going to have more windows or all glass, and then screens to protect you from the bugs, and a roof over your head for the inclement weather. So
is a transitional space physically connected to your house, or does it count as, how does it work when do you need a permit to build a transitional space?
Yeah, you do. It's typically what we're doing. It is connected to the house. And what makes it a transitional space is there's often a large opening between that 3-season or 4-season sunroom. They've got a lot of new window wall features that open and allow a great big opening. And it's an addition that's on the side of the house or the back of the house. There could be a glass roof as well to allow that extra light in. And a lot of people are doing it in new builds and also retrofits to existing homes.
Yeah, so there are basically endless possibilities. It's all about bringing the outside in, the inside out. So that's, I guess, one of the main features is it has to have that openness to it.
And lots of light, exactly. Yeah, that large transitional door between the two spaces, lots of windows. You can have retractable screens, so if the bugs aren't bad, you can have the screens open in a total open air effect. But then if you're in that bug season, you can pull the screens down, have the windows open, you still have the fresh air coming in. And then in those shoulder seasons where it could be too hot or too cold, you're adding air conditioning and/or heating, and there's lots of different products.
I think bug season, I think in Canada we call that every season except for the dead of winter. So I know you brought some pics along that we're going to show off some of your amazing creations. Okay, now I know anyone watching at home is saying, that's actually better than the actual house I'm living in now. How is that the quote unquote add-on or sunroom? So tell me a little bit about this one.
Well, it's an addition we did on the back of a home that backs onto Lake Simcoe, and we came up with the idea of having this whole wall, all windows. There's also skylights.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it's really nice. It opens up onto a deck, and it's fully insulated. We have radiant in-floor heat there. There's also a gas fireplace that I went back to see them 3 or 6 months after, and they talked about how warm and cozy it is. Although you've got the brunt of the wind coming off the lake, it's still a very warm space.
Gorgeous. Okay, let's see what else you've been working on here. So this is kind of, this to me looks more like it's been added on because you see the difference in the flooring. And then this is cool, like a glass bifold partition door sort of a thing. Yeah,
this was a really big, exciting build that we did. Although it looks like it's an add-on, it's not. And this is it's a 3.5 season Muskoka room that we did as part of a new build. Yeah, you can see that opens up 18 feet wide. That folds all the way across and then opens up into a 3-season space. There's no heating out there except for a real wood fireplace. So in the winter, it could be in the height of winter, it could be a little challenging, but spring and fall is going to be no problem.
Beautiful. Okay, let's take a look at this one here. Now, this looks completely open. So how do you shelter yourself from bugs, rain, etc. in this room? Yeah, again, another real exciting build we did here, just recently finished. This one here that drops down are retractable screens that are on, they've got motors on them with a flick of a remote control, and you can pull all the screens down, completely encloses that whole space. So in that black fly season, you are fully protected, and then there are radiant heaters in the ceiling that can keep it nice and toasty warm, again, for those shoulder seasons, spring and fall. And now that's because you can't actually it won't be hooked up to your HVAC or anything like that, right? That's right. That's a little bit of a hybrid option. It is a 3-season sunroom. We've added a little extra heater out there to extend the season. Instead of getting 3 months, you could be getting 6 months out of it. And this one's gorgeous. It looks as though there are literally no windows. Like you're staring directly outside. It's gorgeous. That's right. This is a deck or a covered porch. There are no windows. There's a glass railing, and then there are screens that pop down on a motor. That I honestly, there are so many options. Thank you so much for presenting them to us, because prior to that, I didn't really realize any of that existed. Okay, don't go too far, because it's the Love It list coming up in just a bit with Jacqueline Kovacs, editor of York Life magazine. She's going to share some goodies with us, so stick around. All right, I don't know about you, but this is the time of year where you just want to be warm and cozy, don't you? Don't you find that you're nesting? Right? You're nesting, looking around the house, trying to figure out ways to just add that cozy element to your home. Well, we have our coziest friend, Jacqueline Kovacs, Jackie, as she's well known here, from York Life magazine. She's the editor, and she's done all the shopping for what we call the Love It list, so that you don't have to do the shopping. So thank you so much for coming back to us and doing all the driving around and shopping. Where did you go this week?
I was at Design Line Studios in Aurora, where you can get sort of obviously full-on design services, but you can also go in and pick up really awesome things.
And I'm seeing something super soft.
It's so cushy.
There is nothing more comforting than a blanket.
Oh yeah, and this one is 100% cotton. It's handcrafted.
Oh my gosh, it's huge.
It's nice and big, and you know what? Like you can be cozy in it, but it also just adds a nice soft touch to a couch or a chair or bottom of a bed.
It's very textural with these nubblies. I'm sure there's a technical term for them.
I think nubblies is it actually. Yeah.
For the nubblies, cable knit. It's huge. It's gorgeous. It's warm. And you're right. You drape it over a chair, whether it's an armchair or just an accent
or a love
chair.
seat, whatever. It's perfect for home or cottage, and available here in York Region.
So beautiful. Okay, let's scoot that out of the way. And what else have you brought us?
I have brought. What's more cushy than a cushion? This pillow is gorgeous, and it's in trendy blue here, but it does come in 4 colors.
Wow.
It's from India. It's a cotton linen blend, and it will just give you that softness. Now you take that and you take your throw and you sit down with your book and your cup of hot tea or maybe hot toddy, and you're set. You're cozy.
Your cognac. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing a couple of things. First of all, I see almost at first glance knots, a nautical theme, but then I also see something that's a little more traditional, that's not at all nautical. So you could actually, this could work at a cottage, but it could also work anywhere in your home as well if you've got that traditional look. And you were saying that this particular shade of blue, navy blue, is the blue.
It's huge. It's huge. You see it mixed with all those warm metallics that are also trending right now, but it really is classic too. Like it's huge, but it's not like if you get, and this is an easy way to add trend, a little piece, but if you were going heavily into blue, it's never really going to go away. It's just one of those
Navy's a neutral,
colors.
right?
Yeah,
it's like jeans.
Pretty much. Yes. And this also comes in denim as well, by the way, and gray.
Okay, and what else do you have? I'm going to take this pillow and I'm going to move it over here with my nubbly blanket.
Now they're calling these cheese trays, and you could actually put cheese on them, but you could do a charcuterie.
Wow.
People have used these for placemats to add just that touch of wood and outdoors, and that kind of live, natural thing that we're seeing everywhere too. And because it's wood, it's got that tactile, and it's soft, and it's got that nature touch that brings that hint of cozy to any spot. And you can eat off them. And you can eat off them.
I love that they're food grade, #1, not just decorative. But you were actually saying that these are, I like the way you worded this, cruelty free.
Well, yeah.
And why is that?
Because you can either get them in ash or spalted maple, and a spalted maple is a dying maple, so it's kind of gone, but it leaves a really interesting pattern behind, so that's what makes it cool. And you just make sure that you treat them with either a really high quality butcher block oil or with a high quality mineral oil, not olive oil, and you wash them with a little soap and water, dry them immediately, and you're good to go.
The charcuterie board, it's everywhere, and instead of going out to a restaurant, you can do it yourself. Okay, Jackie, you're sticking around because our panel of pros are coming up next just after this break to answer your questions about design and decor. And don't forget to visit our Facebook page, The Nest with Kasie Savage, and share your design dilemmas, and maybe we'll be able to answer your questions too. Stay tuned. Welcome back to The Nest. This is the part of the show where we answer your questions about design, decor, interior, exterior, it doesn't matter. So today's question comes from a viewer who's looking for some advice on their backyard, whether it's expanding living space or updating the pool. I think so many of us can relate to this. So basically, this is a backyard that has an existing pool with concrete surround, and around that backyard, here you can see it, is one of those safety fences. They do have young children, so safety, I think, always comes before design. You can't, it's not really optional. And you can see they've got an awning because they wanted to create a little bit of an extra space, bringing the outdoors in. So our panel of experts are here. Carrie McPhee of McPhee Maintenance, Construction and Tree Farm. We've got David Butler of Alair Homes Aurora-Newmarket, and Jackie/Jacqueline Kovacs, editor, York Life magazine, to answer the question. So let's start, Carrie. I mean, you just saw that picture of the backyard, and your expertise in this show was talking about surrounds. If you have a concrete surround, maybe you just bought a home that has an existing surround, what can you do about that in terms of updating?
A nice way to feature a pool these days, in keeping with budget, is to do a stone coping around the edge of the pool. So it you know, takes away from the vinyl edging on some pools. You
Right.
know, if you do a concrete surround and that butts up to a vinyl edging, whereas the stone coping actually goes around the edge of the pool. So it just gives you that like a cleaner, fresher look. And you can fill in with interlock. You could fill in with flagstone if you don't have a big patio, if you don't have a big pool. All depends on your budget.
But you have to, number one, get rid of the concrete. You can't put over top. You don't recommend.
More so than often, I wouldn't do that. No.
Yeah.
Because you're going to change the elevation as well around the pool, and that, you know, just might not be conducive to your backyard and the different levels in your backyard.
So step one, update it with the coping and this change, add a little bit of that manufactured stone around the edge.
Interlock or the cobblestone like we looked at earlier. You could go, if you have a larger budget, you could do flagstone or granite around the pool and give it, you know, the more of the natural stone look.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful.
Which is beautiful.
David, so you're the expert when it comes to, at least for this, you're an expert on everything, but you're the expert when it comes to those transitional spaces, is what we've been talking about this show. An awning kind of gives you the protection from the sun, doesn't give you the walls, but how much space do you actually need if you're putting an addition, a transitional space onto your home? How much space how small can you go, basically? Because you saw that backyard was relatively small.
Yeah, you can be cozy with a 10 by 10. I wouldn't go much smaller than that,
okay.
But typically we're seeing it's larger than that. You know, it could be 12 by 20 or all the way across the back of the entire home, you're 30, 40 feet wide.
Right.
But as a minimum, I wouldn't go much smaller than 10 by 10.
So that house had, I believe, patio doors at the back. You could blow that completely out and make that into, there you can see there's some small patio doors underneath the awning. So you could expand that, I guess, all the way through to that window to the right and put your outdoor, indoor / everything space right there.
Yeah, you could add an addition on the back, lots of windows. You can increase the size of the opening from the inside of the house to the out. You're going to have to put in a beam to support the larger opening. And then you can do windows and screens, heaters, different types of light, whether in-floor heat as well, if that's an option or the budget permits, and then either a full glass roof or lots of skylights.
Oh, a glass roof. Interesting.
Yeah,
exciting.
Really exciting.
I'm guessing sloped.
Yeah.
Due to the amount of snow that could wind up on that roof.
Yeah.
Jackie, you're the expert on all things pretty.
Yes, that's on my card.
What? Next to editor, all things pretty. What would you say when you look at a backyard like that, just bringing it up to speed with 2017 while maintaining safety for the kids? What kind of comes to mind when you see that backyard? What would you add?
Well, an easy update is just there's so much choice in outdoor furniture. So I would invest in really good outdoor furniture, and then it's quite easy to start switching out pillows as you know, trends change and seasons change. Maybe you can add like a fire feature or a water feature, and it doesn't have to be huge. They come in a variety of sizes too, and that takes you through the chillier seasons and back into the warmer seasons.
I love that you guys give a good mix of high and low price points, and the lower price point is always let's take our attention off the problem and shift it into the pretty pillows. And then suddenly everything is
Distract.
yeah. I love that. The art of distraction, that's key. That's key. So great tips, great advice. Is it possible, what do we call a four-season room? Is that still a transitional space or just part of your home?
Yeah, I think people are, one of the terms people use a lot is a Muskoka room,
right,
where you've got, there's some sort of heating and cooling in there. It could be a separate system than the main system of the house, and you're protected from the elements, but you can also open up the windows, retract the screens, and get full fresh air and fresh light in there for you.
Sounds nice. Okay, well, I hope you feel inspired by today's show. Maybe it's a fresh coat of paint. Maybe it's a transitional space added onto the back of your room. Maybe it's a bright pillow, as Jackie recommends. Or maybe it's changing that concrete surround around the pool to look a little more luxe and a little more rich with some natural stone. It's all about creating your best nest. Until next week, don't forget to visit our Facebook page, The Nest with Kasie Savage. Share your tips. pics of your nest and any local hot finds, because we love to share, and reach out directly to our pros. Their info will be on there as well. We'll see you again soon, and take care of that nest.
Why